have seen dozens of videos on YouTube where people are replacing their phones with notebooks. So I have decided to test it out for myself to see whether or not I will see any changes. And in my experiment, I was targeting my scrolling addiction, and I was replacing scrolling with journal entries for 1 week. So if you're curious to find out whether or not I managed to achieve anything, then stick with me. So I can't just simply start doing this without having any plan or any deeper understanding why I want to do it. So I went to the local store and I bought this pocket notebook. It's like the cheapest one they had. And I started by creating a spreadsheet where I have answered 4 simple questions. First one, why I scroll? Then where I scroll? Why it is bad for me? And how can I replace it? And for me, it basically narrowed down to 2 things. I usually scroll when I feel bored, or I scroll when I want to procrastinate. So easy decision would be to just avoid situations where I feel bored with the help of this little fellow, and also procrastinate a bit more efficiently. So in practice, it means that I need to plan more thoroughly my activities to feel bored, and I need to reflect a bit more on my procrastination, to then again not to procrastinate or procrastinate more efficiently. So that was the general idea. And for those of you wondering, Olga, why can't you just relax? Why can't you just chill? Not every second of your life needs to be productive. Just give yourself a possibility to rest. Entertain yourself a little. Just chill. I've invited an expert to help me answer these questions, and while they are busy not replying, I will answer you straight away. When I scroll, I don't feel rested, I don't feel entertained, I don't feel relaxed. What I feel is actually empty and dead inside, because this constant scrolling is just drains my mind, my emotions, my desire to leave. I don't know. Every time I scroll for like an hour or even more, I would end up just feeling really bad. So no, it's not for me a form of entertainment or relaxation or whatever. Yes, of course, don't get me wrong. There are some really funny memes, reels, or TikToks, or whatever, and my friends make sure that I know about them. But generally, no, this is not a way for me to relax. Thank you, expert. Let's go. So the thing is that I know there are like thousands, millions of ways to entertain yourself without actually having to drain your mind and end up having issues with attention span. I just need to remind myself about that. So now let's move on to what are the actual discoveries that I had during this experiment. The first discovery is mornings are amazing. I used to scroll a lot in the mornings, trying to get myself out of bed and just trying to wake up. But now I just really in a chill and lazy way, I open up my notebook and I start writing things that come to my mind. And usually it is some sort of affirmations, like I would tell myself that today is going to be an awesome day. You are amazing. You're gonna like achieve whatever you want and you're just gonna feel really great about the day. You know, this type of motivation for the day. I also have lots of weird and crazy dreams, and sometimes they're so much fun that I write them down to just sometimes go back and take a look at what are those crazy things that my brain comes up with during the night. And then I also write, of course, a plan for the day, like to-do lists, some of the things apart from work that I need to do. And this can include really detailed things, like for example, I want to make myself a nice black tea today. Or maybe I just want to sort out some things in the house or whatever. So I just go and prepare a to-do list. And the bottom line is, what I'm trying to say is that now I feel super energized in the morning, actually excited for the day, motivated for the day, and knowing that I have a lot ahead of me. And that just makes me feel really good and really excited. So without notebook, I wouldn't be able to do this. Second discovery is that there are so many things that you can do with your free time, and they're actually quite cool and exciting. Like example given. Sometimes I would scroll a lot when I would just return to home after work, for example, and I would just like, I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. What should I do next? Now, with the introduction of this notebook 1000, I actually always know what to do, because I would go and sit down and I will write whatever comes to my mind, whatever to-do list I can come up with, and it doesn't need to be something productive. I include watching TV shows in my to-do list. I include, I don't know, reading a book or listening to a new album or composing a new playlist for myself. Anything that comes to my mind, I would list down, and the list can be so long. And then I just follow them, and I get a feeling of achievement every time I accomplish something from the list, even though I don't actually cross out anything or put check marks. But I do sometimes take previous day to-do lists and move it to the next day. And yeah, oh my god, there are so many things to do. Like, for example, I bought a crosswords book. And who knew? Maybe old people knew, but I didn't. Actually, crosswords are so much fun. It's so much excitement, and sometimes I just can't stop. You know. So the world is amazing. Even if you're just stuck in four walls at home, there's so many things that you can do. Just think about it and do it. That discovery is probably one of my favorite ones, if not the one, because I used to think of myself as somebody who's not that creative, somebody who doesn't have that many ideas and just cannot create anything new. But the other day I went to the coffee shop, and of course I had my notebook with me, and I just ordered my matcha latte. I sat down, I opened the notebook, and then I realized that there are ideas just like coming out of my brain on the paper. It was ideas about YouTube, about my personal life, some future endeavors and whatever, but turned out that there are really a lot of ideas, and I like the way they look on paper, and I was so excited. And when I went out of the coffee shop, I was like, oh my god, look at me. I'm actually not a complete failure when it comes to creative things. And I was so excited, and I was so grateful that I discovered that. So yeah, that's why it is my favorite one. So probably if you are just like me, wondering, oh my god, why I cannot come up with anything, people everywhere are creating new things. Everybody is Elon Musk, and I'm just like nobody. Maybe you're not. Just try to stay aside from that, again, constant consumption of other people's ideas and content, and then you will discover that there is a gigantic world inside of you full of ideas and new things. So this is really great. Next thing about procrastination. So every time I feel the urge to procrastinate, I actually would take my notebook and reflect a little. So I would sit down and I would think, okay, why am I procrastinating? What is it? I just hate my job, or I hate the task, or I'm afraid of something. And I used to think all of the time that the main thing I'm afraid of is getting judged, or being judged by people, so that I can fail a task, I will be judged, and I will feel bad. But turns out in quite many cases, what actually bothers me is the fact that people will actually notice that I'm doing something, that I'm putting an effort into something, and it's really complex. That's a whole world of unknown territory for me, and I wouldn't be able to discover it without the notebook. So this is amazing, and I'm working on it with my therapist right now. Last discovery after 1 week of this experiment is that it is so great to just do nothing. Like, even if I have a to-do list, sometimes it's so great to just lay down and do nothing, like play around with your cat, or just stare outside the window, look at the sky, at the clouds, or just think about nothing at all. This is the whole idea. I don't want to be productive all the time. I don't want to overachieve whatever things, and like, productivity is very important in some cases, but this is not the end game for me. So with the help of notebook, I actually realized that, yeah, I like to spend time doing nothing. I like to chill and relax, and it doesn't need to be fulfilled with any sort of activity for me to feel good about myself, to feel accomplished, to feel as if I'm not missing out or just wasting my time. It's really great to feel bored. It's really great to waste your time sometimes on doing nothing. It's so much better than waste your time scrolling, trust me. So the final question would be, would I continue with this experiment? And my answer is definitely yes, especially in the morning, especially when it comes to brainstorming creative ideas. This is an amazing, amazing thing. Would I stop using Instagram, YouTube at all? No, I wouldn't. This is still a really great source of inspiration and communication with the external world. So I'm not gonna give it up, but I'm definitely gonna reduce my time, and I already did. And I'm definitely will try not to get in the loop of this algorithm trying to tell me that I need to constantly scroll and consume, consume, consume. This is something that I will not do. So if you want to find out whether it worked for me after 1 month, then sure, stick with me. And other than that, as usual, have the most amazing, beautiful, and precious day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.